Sehr gut. Sehr gut.
I'm a time traveler from the year 2025, and I've come here to kill you, Hitler.
Oh, not again. I'm never gonna have enough time to finish these paintings with all of these time travelers trying to kill me.
Well, I'm going to succeed.
Before you pull the trigger, can I just ask why? Why do all of you people want to kill me?
Isn't it obvious? I'm a progressive, a liberal, a fighter for social justice. And you are a fascist who implemented a reign of terror. And while the effects of your policies devastated the world for decades, soon we will be able to take back the White House, and we will be able to use the government to force people to follow our great ideas.
You want to use government power to force your ideas on the populace. Me too! That's fantastic!
What? No. Ugh. You and I have nothing in common. What I'm saying is there are people in our time with dangerous ideas, and we need to silence them.
Silencing those who disagree with you. I do that too! Oh, wunderbar! Oh, the Nazi movement will not die with me.
Don't give me that! I'm enlightened, and you're as bad as... well, as Hitler. Listen, what I'm trying to say is we are very close to implementing a utopia, as long as we can get rid of some certain undesirable people groups.
Yes, like the Jews.
Yes, like the Jews. Oh.
So, in the future,
Oh.
you also do not like the Jews?
Well, no. But we don't believe in segregating all the races like you do. I mean, except for, like, graduation ceremonies. And dorms. And hiring practices. Oh, and admissions policies. That sort of thing.
I, too, am a fan of the segregation. I'm sorry, I have to ask, is this a real firearm or is this some kind of toy for kids?
It's a flare gun. I'm trying not to support America's toxic gun culture. I'm a firm believer in gun control.
Gun control! This was one of my ideas, too. Ban them from the undesirables. Yes, look here. Oh, and your shirt. This is an organization founded by Margaret Sanger. Yes?
Wait, you know about Margaret Sanger?
Jawohl, of course. Oh, she's such a lovely person.
No. She's a fighter for reproductive rights, for women's empowerment,
And the eradication of undesirable populations by means of eugenics. Brilliant lady, very inspiring. I must use some of her ideas in our socialized healthcare system.
Socialized healthcare? That's not your thing. That's our thing.
No, it's very much my thing. Did you know that Nazi means National Socialist German Workers' Party? Nazi is just more catchy. Nazi. Just rolls off the tongue.
No. This can't be true. This has to be some sort of mistake. We are nothing alike. You're Adolf Hitler, evil right-wing fascist dictator, and I'm a feminist restorative justice advocate. And a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian? Me too!
Okay, I am so confused right now. I came here with a clear goal in mind to kill the most evil man who I've ever lived. Besides Ronald Reagan. But now that I'm meeting you in person, you're not at all what I thought you were. And your painting is actually really good. What do you call it?
I call it Ein Reich ohne Juden.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but it sounds beautiful.
It does, doesn't it?
Me too! Nazi. Kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? It kind of shows you that word, like racist, homophobic, transphobic, are all overused. Anyway, folks, welcome to the program. Will you do me a favor, please? Will you please share this program? Right? Let me see if I can adjust my screen a bit. There you go. Will you please share my screen? We're going to be talking about some stuff going on because Antifa has popped up their head again and declared war once again, one more time. By the way, it's that time of year. Are you thinking about your family, gifts, whatever the case may be? Can't wait for the warm weather to come back. Why don't you use the cold weather? Is it cold where you are? There's about 8 inches on the ground. Well, I'm sitting in the chair now, but you know what I mean. There's snow everywhere. Are you thinking about your gifts you're going to give your family this time of year? Thinking about warm weather that's going to be coming now that cold has hit and it's been here a few days and now you went out? Yeah. You want warm weather to come back. Use this time to plant, P-L-A-N, your garden. So you can P-L-A-N-T your garden. Plant it once, feed yourself for decades. Great gifts, hardbacks, beautiful books. We do it in all categories. Make it easy. But don't fall for the knockoffs that out there that took my best-selling book, took my ebook. I will never publish ebooks again. Took my ebook, cracked it, cloned it, changed it, put junk in it. It's not anything like what we did, but you get confused. So make sure you look for my name when you do it, right? And even in all this chaos going on, don't forget our other bestseller, Countdown to Chaos, Silent Federalizing of Elections. Here you go, baby. What did I tell you? It's just like I told you. What did I tell you? Has it been 3 years? I told you that the DC pipe bomber was a woman. Where'd you hear it first? Right here. So, folks, it's that time of year, okay? And with that, especially when you're going to be cooking big family meals, having family around, we brought this back for you, asked for it, $1,000 off. That's a big savings. But this is one thing I'm so impressed hearing from you guys that take a simple machine, got one, your freeze drying chicken livers and beef livers that you buy, probably the cheapest meat there is, right? You buy them really cheap. You're freeze drying them and selling them as homemade dog treats, right? At your little street fairs and farmers markets and stuff, and making a killing. Good for you. And those of you that went together and got one, and the whole neighborhood's using it and sharing it, good for you. Well, we brought it back. Scan the code, see the web address. We brought it back. It's the one thing you can have in your life, use in your life, share with others that others would be glad to share in, and use the same damn thing you're doing anyway to make money and turn it into a little household business. It's interesting, right? So a lot of you are getting snow, etc. Stay warm. That's why I'm flanneled up. Today's program is brought to you by the fine folks at Goldco. Think about this. I told you that let's see, let's go back in time. I told you in December 2020, don't go to DC, even if you love President Trump, it's a setup. I told you how the election was rigged. Here's exactly how they do it. It's in the ballots, not the machines. I told you they were going to change from a coup that Trump had. They're going to start bringing out, going to do it under conspiracy. That's how they're going to charge everybody. Told you there were no PCAPs. Told you there was no Antifa call. The bomber was a woman. All of this. I'm telling you again, you better pay attention. Something's coming in your digital money. Right? Something's coming in your money. That sounded weird, but you know what I mean. I'm just asking you to go to jovanlovesgold.com, download the free kit, get your information, because now's the time to protect your money with gold and silver. Just hedge your bets, see if it's for you. It's the only thing that throughout time, you can go back to the beginning of time and see. And you would actually be, I started telling you this, what was gold, $1,400 or $1,300? I forget, whatever it was. Now it's $4,140, but that's not the point. The point is, look up how many times in history that paper money, fiat money, has been destroyed and just ended and you can't use it. It's pretty startling. Folks, go to jovanlovesgold.com. Get the information. Okay? Get the information. Quit sitting there. And then you blame the system and you didn't do anything. Okay? So please try that. Please try it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Because nothing's holding you back. Anyway, and you might qualify to get up to $10,000 in free silver. Okay. Oh, by the way, I just want to say a heartfelt thanks to all of you who have helped work very hard. You got to remember that Arizona audit, you got it. Do you realize our government has all of the evidence regarding Epstein and the list, and you don't see anything? When it comes to the Arizona audit, for the forensic part, our part, we have all the evidence. It belongs to the people. That's why they're so terrified of it. Think about all we've been through. Another one. There were no PCAPs. It wasn't the machines. You can't prosecute because somebody from Venezuela said they did it in Venezuela. You got to have hardcore evidence. And now you're finding almost every week, every day, it's the paper. It always has been. Here it is. All of that junk ended up being a way to make you stand down. And unfortunately, people stood down. But I'm so glad for you because you're the one that got the Arizona audit done. It's your legacy. And so we're keeping it. We struggle hard to keep it, and I appreciate your support. And it'll either be used for the court. You're seeing a lot of court stuff come up. Possibly Supreme Court as well, because the bad guys are going to fight against it. But more importantly, as President Trump cycles out and doesn't run again, it will be provided to the Trump Presidential Library. Everything. You can recreate a whole election. Future researchers, right? Future researchers will study this, and you will be happy you have it. Remember all that stuff, 19-inch ballot, 20-inch, all that for everything else is destroyed, except what we have. It's yours, and you will be able to say in the future, I helped get that done. Whether you volunteered or you sent emails or you called and you pushed it and you forced the state's hands to do it. You are part of history. Don't let that history go away. We'll get started here right after this.
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County full forensic audit archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now.
Warning. The following program has been rated Delcares and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you. Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians, the elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media? and the gender-confused, emotional socialist snowflake crowd. Cut the Crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. He's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics. They all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer.
Okay, folks, welcome to the program. Raise your finger, lift a finger. Antifa has declared war again. There it is. You can see those folks on the left. Maybe you'll find your new mate in there. Oh, my goodness. By the way, just one more thing. How many times in your entire life, I'm just talking about the Arizona Forensic Audit Archives, how many times in your life are you going to be able to tell your kids, I helped make that happen. I participated in the most significant election audit project in the history of America. I campaigned for it. I got it done, or those on the floor. All of this in the archives. You will be part of the future. You need to understand that. All of those videos, all of those pictures of everybody working on the floor, I don't think you realize how historic that is. 100 years from now, 100 years from now, right? That'll still be studied long after all of us are gone. And you are part of history. You helped make that happen. Historians will study this. I just want to say thank you. Those of you that are asking legal questions in the chat, it's not that I don't see you, Barb. It's not that I don't see you. There are certain things I can and cannot say. And I tap dance around them all I can to kind of help you get there. But there are certain things I can and cannot say when it comes to protecting what's going on, how it's being done, etc. But I just wanted to say to all of you, you know, you look back now, you look back to the Kennedy assassination and all the people standing on the grass, you know, whatever, you're forever part of history. Every one of you made that happen. Every single one of you. And it's your evidence. And I just want to say, God bless you. Anyway, share this program. Here's what we're going to talk about. Antifa has reared its ugly head again in a very violent way. Right? And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wait a minute. Aren't they criminals now?
Lastly, sir, this is a presidential memorandum on countering domestic terrorism and organized political violence. In recent weeks, months, and years, we've seen a tremendous upsurge in some highly visible, but also other acts of domestic terrorism and organized political violence being perpetrated by radical, politically motivated groups all over the country. What this presidential memorandum will do is set off an administration-wide response to that, ranging from the Joint Terrorism Task Forces to other components of the Department of Justice, to the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Treasury. We're looking at interdicting these groups, preventing them from performing acts of violence, and also looking at sources of organization and funding and support that prop them up and allow them to do the acts that they have been doing.
We're looking at the funders of a lot of these groups, and you know, when you see the signs, and they're all beautiful signs made professionally, these aren't your protesters that make the sign in their basement late in the evening because they really believe it. These are anarchists and agitators, professional anarchists and agitators, and they get hired by wealthy people, some of whom I know, I guess, I probably know them. And you wouldn't know it. You're at dinner with them, everything's nice, and then you find out that they funded millions of dollars to these lunatics. Steve, could you say a couple of words?
Yes, Mr. President. This is a very historic and significant day. This is the first time in American history that there is an all-of-government effort to dismantle left-wing terrorism, to dismantle Antifa, to dismantle the organizations that have been carrying out these acts of political violence and terrorism. What we have seen, if you look at whether it be going back to the riots that started with Black Lives Matter and all the way through to the Antifa riots, the attacks on ICE officers, the doxing campaigns, and now the political assassinations, these are not lone, isolated events. This is part of an organized campaign of radical left terrorism. It is structured, it is sophisticated, it is well funded, it is well planned. There is really no parallel like this to anything else in the country right now. There is an entire system of feeder organizations that provide money, resources, weapons, and when they're attacking ICE officers, they're attacking federal buildings, or they're isolating public officials for harassment, doxing, intimidation, and ultimately attempted assassination. It is all carefully planned, executed, and thought through. It is terrorism on our soil. Because of this executive order, Cash and Pam are going to have the tools they need, working with Scott, to take these organizations apart piece by piece. And the central hub of that effort is going to be the Joint Terrorism Task Force, or JTTF, which sits inside the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But for those at home who are worried about terrorism in this country, they need to understand, because of President Trump's strength, because of his vision, because of his leadership, we are now going to use the entire force of the federal government to uproot these organizations root and branch. And again, that's only possible because of President Trump and his leadership.
Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to go off topic just for a minute, because I want you to sit there and think about a minute. Antifa is declared a terrorist organization. Somebody, I don't necessarily recognize TVET as a regular in our Rumble family here. Is that your real name? Only asking because I heard something but wanted to confirm. Is Jovan my real name? Well, I have to admit, my real name, if you want to know my real name, it's really a number. It's 107. No, it's Benjamin. Benjamin Dover. You can call me Ben. You can call me Ben. By the way, God bless US too. God bless you. 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 God bless you for our program. Anyway, TVET, Jovan has been passed down in my family since its origins in the 1st century. Since its origins in the 1st century. How I got it was, Ben Dover. You can call me Ben Dover or anything. Well, something I'd say to you, but you know what I mean. You finally caught that? Come on, but Jovan goes all the way back to one side of my family that goes way back to the 1st century. It comes down in my family to what it would have been one of my uncles. And, my grandmother used to kid about she could just squat in the field picking cotton, have another baby and go on, which was kind of true. Awful image, but kind of true. Only 9 of, the dozen and a half kids survived to adulthood. And Jovan, in that era, picked up a dried pea that the family was drying, and nobody kind of caught what was going on because he was silent when he was small, and he choked to death, suffocated on the pea. He and 2 twins from my family way back then in the 20s and 30s were buried in a bar ditch bank, the bar ditch that runs in front of farmhouses, right? And they were buried years ago. I mean, probably maybe even 20 years ago now, right? We went and I took some of my exploration expertise and I tried to find those babies that had been buried by my poor family. But we couldn't find them. We could find the location. We just couldn't find the babies. And so I was named after him. And that's how it came to my generation, not through my father, but my father's side. And I decided, right? I decided that I was not going to pass on the name. So I didn't name my son that. I decided I wasn't going to pass on the name, that I was just going to let it die with history, right? So that's my, that's Jovan. You can look it up. That's where that comes from, right? I grew up being called Joe by my family, or Jojo when I was a kid, which I hate. But yes, I'm not sure why you ask, but there you go. You can call me anything you want, sweetheart, darling. I even answer to asshole. It's totally fine. Okay, we're talking about Antifa. And you saw there, I played for you, that Antifa is in fact declared a terrorist organization. Now, in the midst of that, I'm going to show you a few things and then we're going to talk about them. Antifa is a terrorist organization. So yesterday, there was a very large turning point honoring Charlie Kirk event. So big event. But that was inside. Here's what was going on outside. Bashes out of Berkeley. Bashes out of Berkeley. Damn dyslexia. I've always told you this war that is raging against all of us hinges on words. Bashes out of Berkeley. Say it with me now. Bashes out of Berkeley. Bashes out of Berkeley. Anyway, these young kids, these incredibly intelligent, beautiful people. Oh, come on. You know what I'm saying. I know they're loved. Come on. They all have faces that only a mother could love. It kind of looks like a video game, does it, when you look at them? Looks like a video game. Or maybe it's kind of like some of the Muslim stuff in the Middle East where they keep on inbreeding and they come out that way. And I thought I was bad. I'm from Arkansas, man. My uncles are the ones that taught me to French kiss. I'm kidding. Look at that stuff. Now, this should show you it all plays on weak minds. But I've told you everything hinges on words. Everything hinges on words. You're right. Choose your player. Choose your weapons. These kids have no idea what fascism is. their professors, the colleges, teach them that conservatism is fascism. And I've told you it's all a con game. It is every bit of it a con game. Now, these kids are standing there. They've come back again. Now, that's relatively passive. They're standing behind the barriers. And if they break the rules and go in front of the barriers, well, then cops take them down, as they should be. But these things are continuing to get violent, and they did. They fully erupted in violence last night. Son, what'd you go to college for? Poetry. Well, how do you make a living as a poet? I make up chants for Antifa. All I have to do is rhyme, Dad. That's fairly light compared to what it turned into. Now, President Trump said we're going to find out who funds them. If you fund them, you're going to jail. What?
That's right. So this organization, it's been tied back to By Any Means Necessary, which is a group that's conducted Antifa attacks throughout Berkeley, going all the way back to the Battle of Berkeley in 2017. They've conducted attacks all throughout the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest. They participated in events with Antifa in Portland and Seattle. And so these networks are very much still on the ground. And the United States government has already designated them as terrorist organizations. We need to now start doing the work of cracking down on the ringleaders, on the network nodes, and those in power to actually be able to stop the organization before. Look, this is just a peaceful event where we've got kids that want to come in, that want to learn about Turning Point USA, that want to pray, that want to go and spread the Christian message just like Charlie wanted. But just like we found out at the very first event of this tour, violence was going to be what we were met with. And in fact, that's what they were met with again tonight.
Okay. When the Antifa crap breaks out and turns violent, what is, if you look across all of those cities where they happen, what is the second common denominator? Put it in chat. Here's the question. You're watching all the Antifa stuff go on. Okay? You see them burning things, throwing things, doing things. But there is a second common denominator. A second common denominator. What is the second common denominator? You're right, Johnny Cat. There it is. See, people think of these organizations as isolated incidents or just a group of kids. They're not. They are a coordinated, funded effort that takes blue cities. And many times, people just get emotional about it and don't think past it to understand the commonalities. If you don't understand the commonalities, you're never going to see the big picture. My job is to make you the smartest patriot in the room, right? Sanctuary cities, all this other stuff. You get it? You have a lot of common denominators, but right at the top, if you have extreme liberals, it's sanctioned, no enforcement, nothing, etc. And I'm going to warn you, you're going to see some blood going on, okay? A little bit later in the program, but you need to see it. So I beseech you, don't just think Antifa. Antifa is not Antifa without funding, organization, and liberal backing, and somebody giving them permission. You've got to understand that. And it's not just Soros. Come on, guys. You think you would be over Soros. Let me tell you why. You found out with Elon and Doge that Soros was using USAID money. I've told you this for years. They're always going to give you a bad guy. They'll give you somebody to hate so you can focus it on a person, which humans tend to do, and never see the system. And it's never about the person, but yeah, right? Can't you, let me tell you something. Can't you see the methodology behind the rise of Soros? You get three things with Soros to hate. What are the three things? Because people attribute this to Soros money. Forget it. He's a play actor and a very large play. There are three key anchors to Soros and why they allowed him to rise in funding them. You get three things out of him, three anchors on him as an individual. What are the three anchors in the cosplayer known as Soros? Come on, think about it. What are the three anchors? Maybe four. Think about it. Think about it. There's something in him that doesn't get hidden. Nope. And when I say three things, it's not government, media, and academia. I'm looking for three character traits, three life anchors in George Soros. When you understand these things, I'll give you an example. Johnny Cat, you're on fire. Right, Nazi. When you get that little Greta Thunberg, then they get to, oh, but she's autistic. These are all play actors decided by design. So yes, he's a Nazi. You know that in his past. It's not hidden. Not hidden. It's not money and hate. I'm looking for other things. You get three things in him, maybe four. It's not money and it's not hate because it's not his money. It's money manufactured off us. So we got Nazi. Nope, the power came from us. The system gave them to him, okay? I'll give you socialism. I'll give you extreme liberal. So you're going to get extreme liberal and Nazi, okay? What else do you get in him? Bingo. He's a Jew. A Jew. And promotes New World Order. Do you understand that these are orchestrated touch points? The people that run the crap groom these people into a system. They find them early on. So you got a guy that's Nazi, one world government, extreme liberal socialist, and a Jew. Don't you understand that? Laura, it's funny. Let me give you an example. It seems like an oxymoron to be a Jewish Nazi, but I will tell you this firsthand. My grandfather, my mother's father, was a Nazi. My grandmother was a prima ballerina and Olympic swimmer for Germany. My grandfather was an SS officer. My grandmother and my grandfather were put together to have special children and offsprings. Now here's the twist. We're Jews. Now, a few interesting things, because you just have to understand it. Most people don't know that the conquistadors, back when the church was killing Jews, that all of the conquistadors that did all of the exploration were Jews. They were called conversios. It basically said the church and power came in and they took all your land and all your possessions. And the only way you could make any wealth back as a Jew was if you explored for the crown. Okay? And then you gave the crown its what's called quinto, and you kept the rest. Now, the reason I tell you that is my own family. Sometimes I think about it, is it shame? Is it guilt? Or I think about it in terms of my grandfather, whose mother, my great-grandmother, died in a Jewish ghetto because of suppression. I understand the choice my own grandfather made to not have the family exterminated. I understand why my grandmother went along with it to keep our family from being exterminated. Sometimes I struggle with that, but it was a matter of survival. Now, my grandfather, so here's my grandmother, a beautiful, blonde, blue-eyed prima ballerina. My grandfather on the other side, her side, he was the Burgermeister. Ran the movie theaters, all this stuff comes from an entertainment family. My grandfather went off fighting the war. He was part of the Luftwaffe flyers, decorated. There was a category for Jews that fought for the right. He goes off to war. My grandmother has a son by him, Wilhelm Luftwaffe. So there's Wilhelm, my grandmother's Augusta. A lot of Wolfgangs in my family. So he goes off to fight. He's gone for an exceptionally long time, and she gets word that he's dead. Accelerate to the Allied clearing occupation of Berlin, of Gießen, where the base and everything was, and they're clearing the cities, and the Allies are rolling in, and the Germans are welcoming the Allies because now they know they'll be out from under this suppression. So this officer leading his men into town notices this hot blonde. And he stops and he gives her chocolate and peanut butter, little tube of peanut butter, little tube of chocolate. She had never had peanut butter before, as I understand it. So my grandfather, her father, basically gets in charge of the American troops, and they're entertaining the troops while they're there and all this other crap and all this other crap and all this other crap. And my grandfather, which now you realize the one grandfather I'm talking about, right? So I've got the Nazi grandfather, I got my great grandfather. Here's my grandmother, who's a prima ballerina. This American soldier sees her and loves her, falls in love with her. She thinks her husband's dead. And this highly decorated war hero, American soldier, falls in love with her, tells her he's going to take her back to the United States. She was one of the first 7 German Nazi-occupied era women that were allowed into the United States. Without giving you all the little idiosyncratic details, my mother, comes around and all this other stuff. And the whole world believes that what is truly my blood grandfather got killed in the war. In 2000, by the way, Laura, I've been working on the novel for a long time. I'm not done because I want it to be right. In 2004 or 5 or something like that, my mother passed. And I'm really trying to get old family records and stuff. And I never really understood why the American grandfather, who's not by blood, everybody, it was forbidden. You do not tell anybody you're a Jew. You do not tell anybody, you can't hide the German, but you don't tell them of your Nazi past and stuff. And he's a decorated American war hero who moved into California government, by the way. Became the head of the California forestry, etc. And when I'm going to my mother's funeral, and I'm really digging hard because I'm trying to put all of these pieces together, because even in my side of the family with my father, it was forbidden to talk about our past, to talk about our mother, to talk about that we are only first-generation Americans. That was skipped over, meaning I and my sisters. And we were Jewish. You just don't talk about that. That's how I grew up. But one great blessing came out of that is as we dug and dug and dug and dug, and I finally found the records, I found out that my real grandfather, and this is a story of survival, by the way, my real grandfather didn't die in the war. And I'm like, what the hell? Because I always had these big holes in my life. And those of you that know my life history, I didn't grow up with my mother. I was taken from her when I was a toddler. I only met her in a cognitive adult when I was 20 years old or 21 as an adult one time. The second time I met her was at that funeral. She had died indigent at the state because of her drugs and prostitution and police record and all kinds of stuff. And when the state brought her to me, where she had laid on a morgue slab unclaimed for several months, I finally found it all, got her. When they delivered her to me in a little Kroger's bag, believe it or not, and a little kind of, that flimsy wooden paper wood that they do fruit baskets out of. It was one of the small ones. It was just gaps in it, balsa wood, just tiny stuff. And I reach in it to get her because we're going to exhume my great-grandmother and bury her with my great-grandmother. And my mother's ashes were streaming through my fingers onto the ground. Long story. But in all the chasing down, I found out my grandfather did not die in the war. The reason he disappeared is because he, being Jewish, doing what he did to have to survive and hide the family, I guess had incredible shame for it, but basically went to work for the Allies, feeding them all the information about the flights and the Air Force, and here's how it's done, here's where they are. And they eventually, right at the war, when the troops are running in, they've got it, and they've got Hitler pushed back. They gave him a brand new identity. new name, knew everything, and moved him to Canada and put him in hiding. And he had been alive all that time. Couldn't have any, what he did to, I guess, maybe in his own soul to make up, but he was given a brand new identity in Canada. And I finally found him. And I found him 6 months too late. He had died 6 months prior by the time I actually found it all and could track him down and could get a hold of the records and stuff. Now, the reason I tell you that is when we talk about these things, so maybe it's what kind of gives me the insight. It's a, first generation American thing. One, knowing that there's certain things that families hide, and you got to learn how to extract the story. For me, it's kind of plain as day. I can see these things. And so how I'm giving you this is I realize whether you're a spy, a double agent, whatever the case may be, or whether you're just a person groomed, the system always has and always will use players. And that's what George Soros is. And they cultivate these players in this play. And why do they do that? Because they need to give you people to hate. They need to give you people to hate. Because as long as you isolate on the individual, you forget that it's the system that does it. You just totally forget. It's the system that did it. It was great. It was great. Yep. Mandambi is a prime example. He is a trained asset, groomed to get him into power to play a role. You're right, 100%. That's exactly what it is. So when I cover this Antifa stuff, and your reply is Soros, I'm asking you to, because you ask, why don't they lock up George Soros for funding this shit? It's because Soros is their employee. The answer's been there all along in front of you. All along. And many times you think evil's never going to be prosecuted. Evil just freaking gets away with it. No. They're play actors and employees in a play, and the evil's a few layers up, and they give you people to hate by design. And that's why they never get locked up. And that's why nothing ever happens to them. Because they're doing their job. Anyway, so here we are. Here we are. We know Antifa has been declared a terrorist organization. We know it. We know they shouldn't have funding and stuff, but nonetheless.
That's right. So this organization, it's been tied back to By Any Means Necessary, which is a group that's conducted Antifa attacks throughout Berkeley, going all the way back to the Battle of Berkeley in 2017. They've conducted attacks all throughout the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest. They participated in events with Antifa in Portland and Seattle. And so these networks are very much still on the ground. And
so we know this stuff. And you're right. I saw it in chat. Don't know who did it. Bin Laden was an employee. But yet here we are, and we know it's been declared by executive order they are terrorist. And
this is Savannah Hernandez at UC Berkeley at the TPUSA Out of the Bay protest. Now, it is about 7 p.m. at this point, but this has been going on since 4:30. And my friends, it has been absolute chaos. Now, at the beginning of the night, you quickly had 2 people that were arrested. One person was a Trump supporter, another was an Antifa member. And as the Trump supporter was getting arrested, he stated that the Antifa member came and tried to steal his stuff, resulting in the altercation. Now that happened fairly quickly at the beginning of the protest, and everything just evolved since then. Now this is actually the entrance to the TPUSA event tonight, and the attendee line actually stretched out this way, and it kind of stretched into this area so people could get into this conference center behind me. Now what ended up happening is this huge swarm of protesters, many of which are trans members, some of them are furries, and of course many Antifa members and Antifa aligned groups, they all ended up swarming those attendees. Now one of the Antifa members actually lit off a flare, smoke started going everywhere, and then another protester drove past in his vehicle. It started backfiring multiple times. It kind of sounded like gunshots. I could see the visible fear in many of the attendees' eyes, and they all started swarming into this area. Now please quickly let them pass these barriers to, essentially protect them and help with their safety, because the mob then quickly started descending on these barriers. Now they have multiple times tried to break this area down and break these barriers down, and they have been chanting all night, calling attendees of this event fascists, Nazis, anti-Semites. They've been calling them every single name in the book, while simultaneously saying that Nazis need to be killed. Now they have also been mocking the death of Charlie Kirk, and I have seen several signs tonight glorifying and celebrating Charlie's death. So that is the protest in attendance tonight. Those are the people inside. You even had people chanting, F your homie is dead, referring to Charlie Kirk. So that's an idea of how chaotic it has been out here at UC Davis. The next challenge is going to be how attendees now leave this event, as this entrance is completely blocked with very aggressive protesters.
Okay, very aggressive protesters. It got worse. But this is supposed to be a terrorist organization. Now you see it's a manipulation. It's a very fine line. As long as they stay on that side of the barrier, they are technically a protester, even though they're Antifa. I think they should be arrested for wearing Antifa garb, patch, and flag, because they're identifying, just like troops, that they are a member of an army. But there's the very fine line that everybody walks, right? The very, very fine line that the system uses against us all. And all of this is just approved play acting. Let's hear from somebody who was directly in the middle of it from a family standpoint.
Anytime, any place, bunch of fascists in the face.
My experience tonight, just trying to go with my daughter to attend a Turning Point USA event in Berkeley, was so horrible. We got paint all over us. I don't know if someone shot a...
It's kind of interesting that somebody says something in chat. Maybe they say it for shock value. But I want to put it up because I think it's probably one of the most ignorant things I've seen. Sorry, I'm calling it like it is. Ignorant, so what comments as you watch our country burn. So Norton 7506 says, when the sun expands and consumes the earth in 1 billion years, will any of this have mattered? When the sun expands and consumes the earth, and screaming in all caps, will any of this have mattered? All I'm saying is, I guess you're trying to prove a point that none of this matters and we shouldn't think about it. And I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying every bit of it matters and you should understand how it works. This is a pretty far removed, well, we shouldn't think about those things because it doesn't really matter. Well, in response to that, I just got to tell you, we're here. Have you ever thought about the fact that whether we like it or not, because we didn't choose it. I just want to throw something back at you, Norton. Have you ever thought about the fact that you were chosen by God to be born to be here at that moment in time. And see, I don't think people think about this. If you see me speak live, which I rarely do anymore, I will always ask the audience, have you ever run a race? Raise your hand. Do it at home right now. Have you ever run a race? Even people that think I'm a weirdo, watch me. Thank you. Raise your hand. Have you ever run a race? Have you ever run a race and lost a race? Everybody will almost raise their hand. Have you ever run a race and won a race? And then I'll go, well, let me go up a little bit. How many of you have run maybe a 5K? Now, less hands go up, but you still have a lot of hands. And yes, when you were in grade school, when you were in elementary school, you raced your friends. I can guarantee you raced your friends, whether it be your brothers or sisters or cousins or whatever. At some point in time, you've done a race. And so I'll ask them at a 5K. Fewer hand goes up. And then I'll say, what about a marathon? Have you ever run a marathon? Even less hands will go up. And I say, if I was to pitch you against 1 million people, what place do you think you would come in? Just a random 1 million people. You think you would win the race? No hands go up. What if I put you against 5 million people or 10 million people? Do you think it would be you that won the race? And even, and it's a matter, remember, everybody raised their hand that, yes, I've run a race. And that's as a kid, right? And everybody's kind of done that. And they do it and they embrace it. And then I said, have you won? Have you lost? And of course, everybody's won and lost. And then when I ask them, well, have you ever done a 5K? And less hands go up. And I ask them, have you ever done a marathon? It's very few go up, maybe a handful. And then I ask them, well, if we randomly chose 1 million people to do a race, do you think you could beat them randomly? Almost no hands go up. What about 5 million? What about 10 million? It's like 0. And when I look at that, and when people answer that way, I realize people don't understand what's really good. One says, maybe if I ran against women. But you understand what I'm saying? People say, I just can't do it. You see that number and think you just can't do it. And then I show them the truth. You already ran against, on average, 5 billion. Low end, 50 million. You already ran a damn race that only one person can win. And I can prove it to you because you wouldn't be here. You've already done it. You've already run the race, the most important race of your life. You have already not only run, but you won. And when that spermatozoa hit that egg, something magical happening, and you can watch it in science, it's like an explosion. Boom. And the zinc magnifies, and it's like the Big Bang. And it really is the bang of the Big Bang of the bang. But you freaking won. Now, when you realize you already won, and God decided out of all of those people that you, quote unquote, could have been, God chose it was you in a flash of light to bring you in to existence. You were the fastest dude in the bunch of billions. Bang. and you came into existence. And you came into existence at this exact moment in time to fight this fight. That really means God saw something in you. Because, you know, once we get here, we're born into Satan's world. We're not born into God's world. The realm of this thing we call earth belongs to Lucifer. It's where they threw the fallen angels. You got to understand where we live. And long ago, God saw fit to bring you here. But we get this damn thing called free will. See, that's the catch. Free will. And I think God's sitting back to all of us going, what are you doing with it? I gave you the gift. I told you you're the winner. I chose you to be here. What the hell are you doing with it? So Norton, I used your example. I just used your example. And by the way, these are the gifts that keep on giving. Right? And you put, well, when the sun expands and consumes the earth in 1 billion years, will any of this really matter? You matter, and God thought you mattered to put you here with free will. What you do with it is up to you. And I have to believe God doesn't make wrong decisions. You might not trust yourself. You might have the concept of, oh, fuck it, you can't do anything. But I'm telling you, the ultimate trusted you. The ultimate trusted you. Trusted you enough to put you here. Chose you for life. You were the fastest, the strongest of all. You made it. You transformed from that little bitty sperm into a human thinking sentient being. And it's all about what you've done with that once you come into being. I'm just saying, man, this is kind of a very defeatist way to look at it. And I just kind of think when we really realize what we are, we don't embrace it. And I'll give you an example. You know how they all tell us, and I didn't mean to go here today, but thanks for that comment, Norton, but it helps. It's obviously what people need to hear. But let me tell you something even more magical. So they tell us that we evolved from monkeys, from Lucy in Africa, and the find of Lucy is a tooth. Oh yeah, they don't teach you that, do they? A tooth. So how do we have this monkey, Lucy, female, we can get all that imagery from a freaking tooth? It's because that's what they're trying to sell. You could no more recreate that look of that particular being way back when, but they do need to sell you a monkey. Now, if you look at man and monkey, they say it's that way because we share about 98 and change, 98 point whatever percent of the same DNA. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Your desk you're sitting at, that rubber from your phone, that petroleum that used to make the plastic products around you, even that gold and everything else, all of those came from Earth, and the whole Earth shares a very common lineage of DNA. Everything has a DNA signature, everything, especially everything living. And we all share a lot of things, but only minute differences, which just make us what we are. You know what they don't teach you about that DNA? And you go look at my patents. I have tons of patents, specifically also on DNA. How do you treat people based on their DNA? Forget the system. What are you? But I'll tell you something they don't tell you, and we're just going to use 1.5%, just for shits and giggles. Every piece of DNA in your structure and plants and animals and whatever is all kind of common all across the planet. Everyone, every people, under the skin, everything else. And they try to tell you that you evolved from this ooze and that's why it's there. But what they don't tell you, because see, it's always small moves. It's the little things left out. What they don't tell you is that 1.5% that's in you that makes you human. What they don't tell you is that 1.5% doesn't occur anywhere else on our planet in anything. I want you to think about that. Doesn't occur in anything of any kind in any of the spheres, insect world, plant world, animal world, whatever. It doesn't even exist. And then you think about the fact all of our fingerprints are different and all our DNA is different, but yet we're supposed to be continually evolving. How does it give every one of us a unique design and a unique number when they tell you God will know every one of you down to the counts of the hair on your head, knows each of you individually? And it's these things they don't teach you. Are the things that equip you to know you were chosen long ago to be here. Why? Because they'll load your mind up with 98.5% bullshit, and they don't focus on what's really divine about you and the power you have that they can't even explain. So yes, Norton, thank you for that. It led to this, and I appreciate you. I appreciate every one of you. But I'm telling you, we came into the world of Lucifer. By the way, I use Lucifer, not Satan. Satan's a man-made creation. Lucifer's something different. Satan's horns, fire, brimstone, pitchforks. It was created by the church to scare pagans because they were afraid of weather and fire and dangerous animals. And so that's why you have Satan. But Lucifer, and that's one of the tricks, you know, Lucifer was the most beautiful of all. The most beautiful of all. And when you think about how man falls, people don't really fall in the trap of, okay, we're going to eat you up, spit you out, grind you into hamburger, and make book covers out of your skin. No, they fall to, come on over here, be like a star, be like a celebrity, be cool, be wonderful. Oh, you're going to have so much fun. It's going to feel good. You understand what's missing in our system? The whole thing that's missing in our system is how special and how divine and how chosen and how unique you are. And they can never suppress it because it's written into your fucking code and they can't hide it. That's how smart God was. That's how smart God was. Encoded it into you. And it can never be taken away. And it's so precise that in criminal forensics, if somebody did a crime 50 years ago, they'll even find you through your fucking ancestors because it's written in the code. And people don't realize how God is so powerful and exact. You've got to be kidding me. And that's the great deception. And who is Lucifer? The great deceiver. And here we are. We got on this because I'm talking about Antifa and you put something in there and God bless you for doing it. And I appreciate it very much. But what happens, it's all about us and waking up.
Anytime, any place, bunch of fascists in the face!
My experience tonight, just trying to go with my daughter to attend a Turning Point USA event in Berkeley, was so horrible. We got paint all over us. I don't know if someone shot a paintball that shattered a window next to us, or if they hurled or shot something with glass. A glass bottle. I don't know. All I know is something shattered. Paint went all over us. I just saw footage. I stood out because you could see my big green dress and my daughter in her jean cap and jean dress. I could see some footage that someone else posted. See us on there. It looked like every single police officer from Berkeley was there at that event. Number one. Number two, they were behind barricades. There was no separation between the attendees or those trying to attend, because I didn't get to attend, and Antifa. Antifa was there. It was horrible. I've been to many rallies. I've been to many conservative events. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. I almost didn't want to leave my daughter there, but she's with a group of her club mates that she knows, and they're safe. They're inside. It did give me some consolation that they were very thorough. Turning Point was very thorough. Checking the tickets. I was denied. She got her ticket as a student through their special Turning Point portal. Mine, she got through an events portal, and for whatever reason, they ruled it invalid. So I was just glad that they were doing, even though I didn't get to get in, I was glad they were doing some kind of checks. But it's horrible, you guys. I mean, I got paint all over me, all in my hair. My daughter's friend had glass in her hair. And I just grabbed them and tucked and tried to run with them and get away from whatever was going on. Y'all pray for us. Pray for Berkeley, please.
So, by the way, Norton reached back out. Thank you, Norton. God bless you. I appreciate you. Reached back out. He's on YouTube and said he was talking about what Antifa thinks. Thank you for clearing that. Either way, it got put on your heart to share. You shared it, and your message, think of what happened there. In your understanding of the situation, and you're talking about Antifa, which doesn't translate to chat because they're too truncated, you got to get thousands upon thousands of people to hear a really important message. So, I would say God used you. So God bless you and thank you. So you hear that lady. Let me show you what they actually walked through. Now, these are people that are there because they want to honor Charlie and they want to hear a message of God. They want to hear a message of, we'll end this together. We're in this together. We'll get through it. I want to show you a couple back-to-back clips of what they walked through.
Can I go inside? Trump release the Epstein list, you freak! Anytime, any place, bunch of fascists in the face!
We already know that Trump wants to militarily occupy the Bay Area.
dick, you asshole! Jesus loves you, man. Now, what did you learn from that? Just take that one isolated clip. What is the weapon? Put it in chat. What is the weapon? You're close. There you go. Words. That's it. That's it. The weapon's not intimidating because they intimidate by words. That's it. And the words create chaos. I've told you everything, laws, otherwise, everything comes down to words. Everything comes down to words. 100%. Everything comes down to words, whether it's elections or laws or politicians or getting something fixed, right? The entire machine works off of words. Now, what happens is, right, how you react to the words. Because you're told your whole life as a kid, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We've been trained that everything's feelings based. And when you can deceive mankind and tell them everything runs on feelings, that's the great deception. Because those people, many people, will swear if it was returned and Christians were yelling at them. And I've always taught you, it's only words. Words are what does it. But people will basically say, I was attacked. No, you weren't. You were not attacked. Can you imagine if you were, let's just put it in terms of heaven and hell. You were supposed to go to heaven. We'll just use the general paraphrase of a good person. Versus to go to hell. And you can imagine this big hole, and it's all these people burning up and in misery and whatever, and somehow you're going down through it, and you're not supposed to be there. And you can imagine all of those people in hell. Combination demons, haters, and everything else. They're going to be yelling and screaming at you. You've seen it in movies. You've seen that depicted in stuff like Dante's Inferno. Why are they screaming at you? Because you're different and you're not among them, and they try to bring you down to them. And it's words. All of it's words. And they're saying, you're right. They're literally saying, join us, join us. And what happens when you walk, when you're a young mind and you walk through a field of that shit and you begin to have doubts and you think, oh, my parents are bad. I shouldn't be this. I want to be liked. Well, what do? Because of words. You join them. And you join them in two ways. You join them by literally joining them, or you join them by just standing down. I don't want any part of this, but you're not going to defend it either. It's all words. I infiltrated an Antifa call and heard the head of a Dominion say, don't worry, we're going to take care of Donald Trump. And I got all the evidence. You heard the words. You stood down. Don't worry, President Trump is still president, even though he's not there and the military's running this. They get it all behind the scenes. It's just a grand setup. You heard the words. You stood down and you joined them. We've got all the evidence, 3,000 precincts, all the votes. People are going to be able to see it. They're going to see everything. You take it back to their tech people. They can check it. They're going to see every vote that was changed. It was the machines. We got them all. It was the words, not the facts, not physical evidence. It was the words that got you to join that side. It's always, always, always has been, always will be words. Your dead homie sucks. Your dead homie sucks. All of us, everything that happened to us in election integrity, it's all words. They were to destroy somebody's credibility. Oh, they didn't do a full forensic audit. It's words. It's words. Everything. That's the machine that drives it. That's the true evil. In the human condition, the need to be accepted because you've turned away from the fact you have been chosen and created for this, you have been chosen to win, but because the system trains your divine choice, your divine reason to be here, that you are empowered to either create or destroy, they hijack you and don't want you to know how special, wonderful you are, and they hijack you. And then they turn you into their minion to fight for them. Speaking of minions,
why do you conceal your identity? If everyone knows who you are.
Back up before you get hurt. Back up before you get hurt. Back up before you get hurt.
Get hurt.
Back up before you get hurt.
he's wearing a mask. He can be identified as a man of color, and he's a dwarf, but nobody's going to recognize him.
Why do you conceal your identity? If everyone knows who you are.
Back up before you get hurt. Back up before you get hurt. Back up before you get hurt.
Get hurt.
Back up before you get hurt. I'm dead ass. Back up. Back up. Richard. Richard, come here. Come here. Help me hide. Come here. Get in. Behind. Cheat. Behind. Cheat. Get it. No. Get it. Let's get him. Let's chase her out. Chase her out. Chase her out. I think it's time for you to go, bitch. What you gonna do, bitch?
Some fucking problems with
yeah,
people?
You ugly little pretty bitch.
Because your daddy didn't love you? You weren't his special little girl? Is that what it was? Or were you too much of his special little girl?
Bitch?
Is that why you have such a daddy complex?
Run, bitch.
Coming down here for all this
Yeah, run.
I don't know.
Let the people know what's going on. Oh man.
She supports
bad news.
She supports cops. She supports cops.
She supports cops?
Yep.
Oh man, the YouTube journalist, man, we got what's going on? Why y'all treating her like that though? She just doing her job or whatever she's doing.
You guys know Justin?
Uh-oh. Y'all know
they
Justin?
know you, Justin.
What's really going on though? We gotta pay attention to this.
Hey, we got her though.
You're not in Texas anymore, G.I. Your country has abandoned you. Look, we got people in cars, man. This shit crazy.
When you can clearly see the weapons thrown, and it's all words, you can clearly see the demonic action. See, that's the big disguise. You expect them to be all horned and craggly and golem-like. In my book, that's demonic possession. They're taken over. They're taken over because they're a weak mind. They're taken over because They allowed their mind to come weak. They can't see it. And I know many of you are saying, I'd kick their ass or whatever. You have to think about that. Their job is to draw you in. I want you to think about that. Their job is to do whatever it is to draw you into the war. I need you to really think about this. If it elicits emotions that I'm going to kick the shit out of that little brown turd, you're drawn in. You're drawn into the individual versus what's really going on. You see a little shit being a shit instead of the dark arts, in this case words, being practiced upon you, and that you allowed yourself to be susceptible. You understand how it works? This is how it works. It's also why when people troll me, call me vile things, what do? Come on. Let's talk about it. See, the truth is the demonic side of words always has to tell you what to do. The demonic side of words can't withstand, here's the truth in words, and they can never combat it. It's impossible for them to combat it. They are forbidden to combat it and go toe-to-toe because they always lose, and it sets back the army. That's that cause and effect. Now, if you understand, you can be totally at peace. You can be totally righteous, and I hate using that word because it's a church-associated word, but I'm just using it for illustrative purposes. They can take you when you're on a mission of right, and they can hijack you. I'm going to show you something. It's 8 minutes long. I'm going to show you the whole thing. It is going to be hard to watch. But I want to show you the power of words and things done. They wear at you. It's all designed to provoke you. It's all designed to provoke you. And if you don't stay on message with truth and you allow yourself to get provoked, it changes the whole playing field and you end up in a much lower level place. There's blood in this. If you have kids in the room, it's not gore, but whatever. Yeah, Mark Twain said, when debating or conversing with a few onlookers can't tell the difference. Right? Truth is one thing in its words. Deception is one thing in its words. Let me share for you this true phenomenon unfolding.
Go the fuck home! Nazis go 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 home! Fuck you, fascists! Fuck you, fascists! Fuck you, fascists! Fuck you, fascists! Chinga la migra! 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 Fuck you, fascists! Fuck you, fascists! Fuck you, fascists! Fuck you, fascists! Chinga la migra! Chinga la migra! Talk about the kidnapping! Just take away. Why are they kidnapping? Christ is Lord. Fuck ICE! 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 Fire!
speech of the night.
Stop the kidnapping!
Stop
the deportation! Jesus Christ is the Messiah, and He will be returned.
The first speech of the night. I would like to welcome Antonio from Students Organizing for Liberation. Hello. I first want to thank all of you all for coming out here. And I do want to pay attention to our comrade right here. They have a point. It is our job as students to be educators within the student movement. It is not enough to say fuck fascism when we don't tell why we need it. Okay, this is it.
You guys, that's exactly what they want. That's exactly what they want. Break it up! Break it up! Break it up! Break it up! Private police, break it up! Break it up! The guy with the red! The guy with the red! The guy with the red! Break it up! Break it up! Police! Break it up! Police! Break it up! Hey, white boy! Break it up! You're bleeding, bitch! Yep. Stop. Hey, white boy! You're bleeding! Relax! Break it up! Break it up! What happened? What happened? Relax. Relax. I didn't do nothing. Relax. What happened, white boy? Hey, white boy, what the fuck happened? Guy tried to rob me. Okay.
Can you guys step back, please? You guys come film with us.
No.
Just a little.
Chill out. Hey, you got crap. You got crap. Hey, white boy, you learned your lesson? Back up. Back up.
Remembered as a martyr! All he's doing is selling shirts. Why aren't they getting arrested for beating him up? Why are you arresting the people that beat him up?
Wrong. No, I used to be Charlie Kirk called me away. I got fucking robbed, bro.
Hey, we're gonna get you medical attention, okay?
You'll be remembered as a martyr. I don't need medical attention. You made a fucking chain back, dog. Post this on Facebook.
They should be arresting the people that beat him up.
Back up, please. Back it up.
Where's the people that beat him up? They should be arrested.
Back it up.
Back up. Need everybody back. Bro, everybody back. I did not. Whoa! I need my phone and my key. I need my phone and my key. No, steal my shit. Steal my shit. My phone, my keys, my keys.
Push him out. Make a good circle.
We're back. Yeah. I need it.
back up out of my line. Moving away from the cameras? Yeah, man, that's where we are. Stay away from us. Here now. The other guys who's involved in all that. We're going to be making a hole soon, so if y'all just...
Whoa! 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 Hey, okay, can we push it out?
All right. Hey, let's push it out and make a hole.
You pig! Fuck you, motherfucker! Everything when you fucking
We're not going to go up next to the police cars, guys. You got to stay back from this spot. Appreciate it as long as you can keep your distance. We need room to be able to get people past. We're not going past. Don't try. Come past us. Come on.
I just got here. Is that area being...
Why is this evil corruption allowed in the streets? They are putting citizens in danger. No. It's something different. Here's what it is. Wow. I now see how they do it. I see what their plan is. And I see they drag us in and make us look bad. Therefore, we fall into their plan. You just watch the truth. Am I saying that guy was wrong? Not at all. I'm saying that guy was brave, but he was sloppy. They got what they needed, chaos. And they took chaos and they turned chaos into a frenzy of fight and blood. You have to understand transmorphing of this and what they're trying to do. That's how it works. I know what you see. I know what you think. I'm asking you to go deeper. This is no different when I gave the analogy of the race and you already won against billions. You must go deeper. And this is where you have to realize you're human, and yes, you're going to get pissed off. That fellow was brave. In the middle of it, he's trying to save souls. He's doing what he's convicted to do. Now, what mistakes did he make? Did he make a mistake by going down there? No. He made a mistake by having all of his shirts just laid out in front instead of kind of really locked up and tethered to him. And if we sold one, then he gets it to the person. And he probably ultimately lost every one of the shirts. That's just bad business. In all of that, all I'm trying to get you to do is to understand there's a formula at play. And they must get you to the emotional point that they get you included in the recipe for chaos. And man, you talk about a hard thing to do. You talk about a hard thing to do. He didn't have an out. And did it work? Yes, they divided more people. When you think about the clips that will be spawned from this. Antifa is going to portray it. That's why I played it in whole. Is going to portray it that guy started a fight with them. This is their goal, to recruit you into their chaos, to raise their emotions. Now, I want to play something for you. Do you know when you don't enter the chaos, chaos has nothing to get chaotic with? They're just a bunch of dancing idiots. Think about that. People can see it, and consider it a banner of their faith or whatever the case may be. I'm going right into the belly of beast. That's one thing. It proves nothing if you get sucked in. The true testament to incredible strength is to call to that guy and say, wait a minute, did you get the right size? Here's one. Being willing to lose it all to get the message right. I know it's complicated. I know it's the antithesis of what your emotions tell you to do. It's why I ask people, when the trolls come in, don't engage with the trolls. Let me do it. I am totally willing to stand my own and face them. Because I can. Because I can rebut them. Because I can dress them down. Because I can turn a bad into something good. And that's all this war is about. It's just words. Words and deception. You either fix elections because you know exactly the words to say, you know what the words mean, you know how the words relay in the law, which is the word, and you know how to follow it through with the right words to make it stick. Or you get hijacked by words and you head off the other direction and they played you. Everything's about words. Everything. Even elections are only about words. Let me tell you why. Because they can take a rat bastard, Marxist communist who wants death to America, dress him up, teach him to speak right, and he'll win the mayoralship in New York City. It is all about words. You can either destroy with words or you can create with words. You can either be compromised by words and misdirected, or you can stand truth in the words and be consistent. That is all this fight is about. Even when you look at something as ancient as the Bible, where man changed singular words. Why would they change a single word in it to get it to the definition they wanted? It's always been about words. And in the beginning, there was the word. It's what everything comes down to. And that's why, if I try to do one thing, is to give you a formula to help you understand it, because I believe with truth comes clarity, and it prepares you to be able to fight this world. But what so many people forget, and let me just ask you a question. If God chose you and you were that 1 in a billion, right? And that 1 in a billion that were chosen to be here this time to fight it, and you truly believed it, and you were standing on the street selling shirts, and God was behind you and says, don't worry, I got your back. Would you chase somebody? Would you fight with somebody? Would you get offended by or wounded by somebody emotionally if God was standing there right behind your back? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You see how far we've fallen? You see how far we have fallen because we have been so removed from that connection. And by the way, this is not a religious or church speak, period. This is God speak, the true fact. Out of all the little tiny specks, he chose you to be here at this time. But we're fallible. We're human. And we forget we're chosen. And we're fallible and you're human. And it's the human things that get you. And what Lucifer knows is you're human. And knows exactly what it takes to push your buttons. And he hopes you stay in that human realm because then he can push your buttons. Because if you realize that you were hand chosen and you were made unique, and I can prove it every day, your DNA, your fingerprint, your palm print, your footprint, every day how unique you are. And you're also told he knows every hair on your head. Don't believe it. Here it is. You have proof. We forget that connection. This is not about church. Has nothing to do with church, because church and religion want to homogenize you and bring you into their army and their crowd, their way. I think the strength comes from knowing you have these superpowers. If you recognize them. Now, you got discernment. You shouldn't put yourself somewhere where they're going to blow your fucking head off. God's not going to protect you that way. It's stupid. You say, I gave you free will. They're looking for your straws. They're going to put the one that breaks the camel back. They're going to break the one that makes you tumble. When you tumble down. You don't tumble up. So yes, we can think smarter. They need battling online. The system needs chaos. The system needs to breed chaos. It is the fuel that fuels it. But the one thing about truth, when you really stop and pay attention and get the truth, it cuts through like a knife. And they have no way to defend against it because they will always attempt, and it works, to deceive you with words. All I'm asking is just think about it. I love you all. Share this program.
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now.
travel and explore. You're a fearless, braveheart patriot who's opened doors. You are courage, you're our voice. Jovan, we thank you for what you're fighting for. You're our warrior. You are brave like a lion. You're David fighting Goliath, couldn't ask for more. You're our warrior. Think of what you've done for you, for me, for our country. You'll go down in history as our warrior. You lead by God and always do what's right. In the battle for our nation, you lead the fight. We pray for your safety, the armor of God to protect you from all of us. Here's a thank you for all that you do. You are courage, you're our voice. Jovan, we thank you for what you're fighting for. You're our warrior. You are brave like a lion. You're David fighting Goliath, couldn't ask for more. You're our warrior. Think of what you've done for you, for me, for our country. You'll go down in history as our warrior. Jovan, you're a hero we stand behind. We're inspired by the fire inside your eyes. American proud, we know you'll fight till your dying day, and we'll always stand behind you through everything. You are courage, you're our voice. Jovan, we thank you for what you're fighting for. You're our warrior. You are brave like a lion. You're David fighting Goliath, couldn't ask for more. You're our warrior. Think of what you've done for you, for me, for our country. You'll go down in history as our warrior.